Did F1 World flop? That is the question that I am delving into in today's video. We all know that Codemasters and EA put a lot of work into this all-encompassing brand new selectable mode in the main menu of F1 23, but I've had a feeling it's really not gone down as well as they were hoping in terms of the numbers of people still playing, the kind of mantra that they were hoping people would take to it of, consistently coming back and playing it day after day, week after week, because it's been now over a month since F1 23 launched. And I'm not really seeing much signs of people playing it. Yes, there are a couple of people out there that have really grinded the tech level of the F1 World car to reach the maximum of tech level you can. There are certainly some people populating some of the quick racing, and for sure there's going to be people playing the scenario races to unlock one or two special liveries. The McLaren Triple Crown, for example, was only unlockable if you did a scenario. But recently then, other liveries like the Williams British GP livery were just given to you for free for simply logging on to the game. So I'm starting to think maybe even those little scenarios, reasons you would play, maybe haven't been strong enough to get people back onto the game, and they've had to offer simply the choice of just logging on to get this kind of unlockable special livery. In the build up to F1 23, I've likened F1 World as Codemasters and EA's attempt at kind of forming an F1 sort of ultimate team sort of mode. You know, you've got cards that bring upgrades to what you're playing, that add gameplay values like boosters. You know, you can earn and grind more cards. This is F1's version of Ultimate Team. But the difference is, okay, when FIFA, and now known as EAFC, when they brought in FIFA Ultimate Team, it was actually so exciting, and I'll give it credit to that. You know, I've always been a big fan of career mode back in the day with these football games, but I don't play them anymore because they got really dull and brought no features to the game mode year after year. Does that sound familiar? Because Ultimate Team was actually quite exciting, a lot of people flocked to it, a lot of people played it. So there was so much reason for EA to put so much effort into FIFA Ultimate Team because so many players flocked to that game mode. But with F1, the F1 game and F1 23, that's really not the case, because I put a poll to you guys in a community post. Over 12,000 of you voted in that, which I think is incredible. So thank you so much for that response. And a very healthy majority of 72% said, no, I don't play it at all. And that's the problem here. That's the problem. With FIFA, when EA brought in FIFA Ultimate Team, I think you would say a majority of the player base switched over to Ultimate Team, especially over the years. It very much has. And so, in a small way, maybe they're positioning towards focusing on Ultimate Team is justified. It still doesn't justify the fact that the career mode and pro clubs doesn't get any love, because pro clubs has so much potential if they actually bothered to do something with it. Career mode, I see constant FIFA creators have so many sick ideas like yours truly with F1, and they don't get listened to. But at the same time, a large majority still actually enjoy Ultimate Team, so there's reason to maybe pour in effort. But with F1, with F1 23, they haven't updated career mode or my team. There's been nothing added to it apart from foundational gameplay. Obviously, yes, they did put a lot of effort into story mode, which you've got to give them credit for, because they made a fantastic little story. It was very, the quality of it, I think, in my opinion, was great. So there was a lot of effort put into that. Maybe that effort usually would be put into the career mode if they were focusing on other things. But I feel like they put too much focus into F1 World for the results. You put in so much effort into F1 World, and 72% of a 12k census say they don't even play the mode at all. So you've done a disservice to 72% here of people in this census of putting so much effort into F1 World that you didn't bother to put any effort into other game modes like career mode, or even just maybe other ways you could do multiplayer potentially. Because the poll I put, the question was, do you still play F1 World after launch? And there were other answers. Yes, occasionally, but I play other modes. That was 22%. So even that's quite a big chunk. 22% is quite a healthy chunk of the 100%. But even that is, yes, I play it, but I play other modes more than F1 World. So that's really still not even that great. 22% on top of 72% say they do play it occasionally, that means, but they're playing other modes, like career mode more, or just simply other multiplayer modes more than F1 World. And only 6% say it's my most played mode. So they put in that much effort for 6% of people playing it as their most played mode. That is not correlating the same way as FIFA Ultimate Team did for the FIFA community. And it's clear, it's not even, you don't even need a census to tell you that. You can look at it on YouTube content. There is pretty much no YouTube content on F1 World specific things. You've got the likes of myself, Tom, Ben, others doing career mode content. You've then got the kind of more towards multiplayer and serious league racing like Yano, etc., doing multiplayer videos and league racing videos. You know, you've got the creator series, but no one's doing consistent F1 World content. And that's not like a deliberate, you know, like, oh, we've all agreed not to do content. I even told people at Cody's, I'm going to give it a good shot. I'm going to try and make some content out of F1 World. And I've booted up the game. There's not a lot of interesting content. I really thought there was going to be some really interesting scenarios, you know, cool little quick races, party modes, flowing through this mode like a treadmill. But all of a sudden, you boot up the F1 game, and there's just not a lot there to really pull you in. You know, maybe a casual would find some of these basic scenarios interesting. And so this is the part in the video where we're going to boot up F1 World. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this, because I didn't want this just to be a video where I'm just shouting about F1 World being bad and whatever. I want to give an explanation, and I want to kind of almost show the flaws in the mode, maybe to even improve it. You know, if it improves in the future because of this video, great, fine, cool. Also at the same time, I also do want to show, you know, maybe all this effort wasn't, you know, it was kind of wasted in a way if you've only got 6% of people playing it as their most played mode, and 72% don't even bother playing it. You boot up F1 World. By the way, let's just get this out of the way. They've put Grand Prix mode and time trial and normal multiplayer all in F1 World, basically just to force you to look through these menus to maybe get you to play it. They force you to do the beginner races to get to the rest of it, or get through and just open up the mode, basically. Bit sneaky of them. Usually Grand Prix multiplayer time trial will be its own separate mode, so they've kind of done that on purpose to force you into this, to show you it. And I guess that's fair enough. You know, sometimes when you add something new to a game, you kind of almost have to show the player on purpose, just to tell them, look, we've got this new thing, give it a try, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. But if we go to play, now let's go to the series. So enter a range of different competitive series designed to take you on a single player journey through all the modes in F1 23. So this was meant for casuals to jump in. So, okay, maybe it's not going to be as interesting to me as someone who's played the F1 game time and time again, but I don't think this is even that interesting for casuals either. You've got a series of tracks from Europe to do some quick races in. You've got Australia Mastery. Now, Australia Mastery has been in the game since launch. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I thought this was going to refresh like every couple of weeks, not still be here. Is it going to take a month for someone to do Australia Mastery? You know, F1 official series, a chance to drive the official cars in a range of different events. And you can select your license or whatever, but you go into some races. Now, if you play the intro, you'll know that the AI are really easy. They're really easy because the AI are actually set to AI level 35, and then the tech level is what determines them. And I've seen so many people say they're just so easy. I've seen them in my Reddit videos where people have started at the back and still got the goals. People have pit for wet tires, and they have still gone on to win the race on wets versus these AI on slick. So things are just very easy. And okay, maybe they're literally, you know, because they're tech level 110, tech level 90, they're literally made for people that never play the F1 game, like play it once in a month, and that's where the 6% comes in. So they're playing into 6%, hoping to maybe grow the 6%. But I just don't see how 6% is going up against 72% that don't even play the mode. Then we come to solo and multiplayer events. Now, this is kind of where more of the interesting races are held, I feel, you know, because as I just said, series is all solo. It's a bit easy. So if you played the game a bit more, let's say once a weekend or whatever, you might want to go into this solo and multiplayer event. So we've got featured a multiplayer Grand Prix. It's just, that's basically what that is if you're too lazy to find an open lobby or set up a lobby, or you don't have enough friends, or you don't league race, this is a way you could do a full Grand Prix with people and race. So it's kind of almost just a way to jump in to normal multiplayer. And we've had that before in the F1 games. You had events that were there, so it's not really anything new. We go to the solos. You've got an arcade race, quick race around Oceania, Europe, Americas. We've got a Pirelli Hot Lap, which is a legacy thing from F1 Life. Scenario, and this is what I'm talking about, scenario mode. With only a few laps of the Formula 1 Grand Prix de France remaining, Sainz and Ocon find themselves embroiled in a tense battle for P2. Who will come out on top? So this is just a fight, Ferrari v Alpine for P2. Okay, cool. If you don't play F1 a lot, maybe it's an interesting thing to do, but I'm thinking, would it really be that, you know, is it going to pull me in? Is it going to pull those 72% in? I don't think so. I thought the scenarios were going to be cool things like, you know, I played one in the pre-launch. It was something like, it was about pitting for soft tires. Do you pit or do you not? And are you going to be able to make your way back? Or setting your scenario up with a puncher and you have to try and drive to the end like Hamilton on 3 wheels, or you know, you're running out of fuel, can you get to the end on fuel? So it's like a fuel scenario challenge and things like this, not just battling for P2 with Sainz and Ocon like in France. It's not even based off a real scenario because France is not on the calendar anymore. At least maybe you can make a real scenario like, can you get Lando Norris P2, or even better, can you get Piastri his podium that he deserves at the British Grand Prix? Do you make the right call on the safety car? A chance to rewrite history. That's the kind of stuff they should be putting on here, and that's the kind of thing that would entice people maybe. Time trial challenge. Just time trial. It's just time trial. Wet Weather Grand Prix. Again, just a way to hop into a race with the F1 World car. And then that's it. And then you got championships, which is F1 World, series of F1 World races. But they're short ones, so they're like 15-lap races, and you go up against people, and it's just a way basically to jump in with other people. It's all just kind of, a lot of it is just a way to find people online to play these races with, but ironically, because you split them all up into these modes, you don't actually find enough people a lot of the time to jump into them. Obviously, the next one is just ranked. Ranked could be its own mode. Ranked is not F1 World, okay? If you say it's F1 World, you're just trying to play up to what they've done with the game modes. Ranked mode could be its own thing, in its own mode. Goals, these are just there. I've maybe going towards completing some of them, but the rest of them, they're just for some rewards. But the rewards you can earn playing career mode. You can earn doing other things. I've got so many rewards in F1 World, and I've not even played the game mode. I've got so many. I've got up to tech level 232, just by simply playing career mode and getting these other items through career mode. So I wouldn't ever even bother using the goal options, because why bother? Why bother using goals? Because, you know, I can earn stuff with career mode, a game mode I actually like playing. The compendium, yeah, it's pretty nice. I've seen some people actually really enjoy it, and to be fair, it's a nice little thing, you know, for F1 fans to look back on F1 history. Not going to knock that. I think that's a nice little thing. Customization should be its own thing. Trophies is its own thing. Showroom is its own thing. So really, the only thing that F1 World is the series and solo multiplayer events. And like I've just kind of shown you by example, there's just not enough here. I thought there was going to be so much stuff rolling in week after week. I thought these were going to refresh after like 2-3 weeks. Like, the fact they're not makes me think that maybe they weren't as prepared as I thought they were about adding new content to this game mode. I mean, maybe this is why a large part of the 22% of people do play the mode, but they play other modes more, because there's simply not enough content. In my census poll, I asked for comments about why they answered the way they did, to kind of give not just my own feedback, this is other people, the general public's feedback of F1 World. So I'm just going to read some of them out for you. So I really only do the scenarios from F1 World just because it's something a little different, and to get a livery. Obviously, the Triple Crown got unlocked. Like I said, people do scenarios because liveries are there, maybe to be unlocked. I just use it for time trials to practice. So this person just uses F1 World to do time trial. So really, he's not even playing F1 World. So some of you might have voted in this census, actually, that you do play it even occasionally, thinking that, oh, doing Grand Prix and time trial counts. But in my opinion, it doesn't count. So maybe even the 72% is even higher of not playing F1 World modes. Never tried it because I love playing career and my team, but I really wish it would have a good update and change it. Now, we do have some people that are sounding off that they do play it a lot, and maybe this is part of the 6%. I played F1 World to get safety rank A, and now I only play scenarios. So they did rank up, but once they got to the rank, it's kind of over. There's nothing else to do. You know, unlike a career mode, once you get to the top of this rank or safety rating or whatever, that's when it ends. You kind of need a reset or something else to do. We've got F1 World is a lot better than people say it is. I don't play it constantly, but every so often it gives something different and allows leagues to do something different. It could be used for so much better. Now, that's fair enough, okay? It gives a little taste of something different, so probably in the 22% category, but I actually agree with him. It could be used for so much more in terms of what they could have done with the mode. Now, we do have some praise for it. One person says, I play F1 World pretty much every time I get on. I think it's really cool how there are so many game modes and challenges. Okay, maybe, no, I don't know how much this person has played the F1 game. Maybe they do find all the challenges and stuff they've got in there right now interesting. To me, personally, it wouldn't be. I don't know if others agree with that. So sound off in the comments. Do you agree with the notion that the content they've got in the game mode right now is not interesting enough? I don't know. Playing F1 World and playing some of the challenges, if you're playing multiplayer or ranked Grand Prix time trial, I don't classify that as F1 World, because those modes, ranked could have very much been its own mode. It probably should be its own mode. They put it in F1 World so they can say, oh, people are playing F1 World. The rest of them really aren't F1 World. So maybe they are people playing the challenge and stuff. But I think the poll really does say a number on overall, though. Yeah, people might be playing it. People might have commented on this poll saying they play it, they enjoy it. But there's so many more people that are saying they don't play it. And what are they playing? They're maybe playing, multiplayer. They're maybe playing career mode, driver career mode, my team career mode. And those things have seen no updates. So that's a lot of majority of people that have bought a game that has, yes, much better handling, really enjoyable handling. You can't fault that. Has cool other features like red flags now in the game. But the rest of the game that they play has not seen any improvement. And a mode that people are not flocking to in the masses that FIFA got with Ultimate Team is getting most of the attention. I think it's going to be very crucial and important in the future and years to come with this game that Cody's and EA choose wisely. And I think they need to be taking a poll like I've done here, and they need to be taking consensus of what people are actually watching on YouTube, playing in, they've got the back end data, what are they actually playing, and if it backs up with the poll sensors here, then they need to rethink their strategy of F1 World being the thing to focus on, because it doesn't seem like it's even worth their time, let alone ours. Forget our benefit of playing the game. In terms of their time, if they're wanting to monetize this in the future in the way EA does a lot with game modes, is it even worth their time if not enough people are playing it to even monetize it to a level they want it to? And maybe they should start thinking about putting focus back into other modes. And I've said it in the past, I don't like microtransactions, but you've got to admit it's just part and part of video games, unfortunately, this day and age. There are ways you could monetize stuff in career mode and still improve the mode and, keep people happy whilst also making whatever you need to do in the back end of this game in terms of revenue. There is. So I think they need to think a bit wisely about the reaction to F1 World, how many people are playing it. So that's where I'm going to end this video off and leave it to you guys in the comments below. Let me know what you make of this topic. Do you think F1 World is flop? Let me know. Do you play modes of it, the specific modes, not the modes that are in F1 World but aren't actually anything to do with F1 World, and genuinely what improvements could be made to F1 World to actually make you play it more, because if they can improve it, fair play to them, fair play to them. I'm just posing the evidence, the data here, and the question of, is it worth their time? Is it worth anyone's time if so many people aren't playing it, basically? So yeah, that's where I'll leave it off. If you guys have enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you are new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.